Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Cade Laufenberg Fishing here on YouTube. Just wanted to recap the tournament from this weekend. It was the BFL Super Tournament, last tournament of the year. The last time we talked on here, I was kind of talking a little bit about my strategy, how I felt like previous success was going to influence my decision making this week, and that ended up being true. I mentioned that I was kind of worried about going to pool 9 because I didn't want to blow Angler of the Year by breaking down, blowing a lower unit, or getting caught behind a barge in the lock, something like that. But I made the decision probably midweek, around Wednesday last week, that, you know, I got to fish this tournament to win the tournament, and that's how I'm also going to win Angler of the Year, because I didn't have such a good season by being conservative and just trying not to lose the tournament. I had a good season by trying to win every tournament, and I didn't win every tournament, but I felt like every single tournament I fished this year, I had located a school of fish or multiple schools of fish that could potentially be the winning deal. Like, that doesn't happen very often in years. I mean, it just seemed like every tournament I fished this year, I had the confidence going into the event that, hey, if I get the right bites on tournament day, I could win this thing. And so I went for that same mentality. I said, if I go to pool 9, I'm going to have that feeling that I could win this thing. So I did that, locked down to pool 9, day 1, and my starting spot was just, it was a dream come true. You know, everything that you could ever hope for in a starting spot in a big tournament. Pulled up there, got lined up on my waypoint, started throwing a jerk bait, and just started bailing them every cast. I mean, it was good, and it was a hard cadence on the jerk bait. You know, it was one of those deals where I was basically just a continuous pump of the rod, occasional switch it up and pause, but then 3 or 4 real sharp jerks followed by maybe one bigger sweeping jerk, and then they would just load up on it. You know, that's kind of one of my favorite types of jerkbait bites. It's almost like a crankbait bite, but the crankbait doesn't get bit, so you got to figure out how to work that jerkbait just right to trigger them. And I did that. Had about 15 pounds in the box in the first 10 minutes on the spot, and then I had to kind of pick through them with a jig. I was using a Hack Attack fluoro flipping jig by Strike King, 3/8 ounce green pumpkin with a little orange in it, and that was just a killer to get those bites. What I was fishing was a clam bed with a little bit of wood on it, well, quite a bit of wood on it actually, and if I could get that jerk bait to come by those piles of wood just right, that's how I was triggering those more aggressive fish. But once the aggressive fish slowed down, I'd pick up that jig and get some more bites. And then finally it got so slow, I worked in a drop shot, 1/4 ounce drop shot. I was just using a flatworm, black and green pumpkin. I switched between the two, put a lot more fish in the boat, throwing that, including a 3 3/4 pounder that I really needed on that first day. So all in all, I had 17-10 the first day, and my co-angler, Dana Carlson, she had 14-8. So, you know, good bags of fish came in, and, you know, basically after I left that spot, I caught a lot of 2 3/4 pounders throughout the day, but couldn't really upgrade. I pretty much caught all my weight except for one fish off of that first spot. Day 2, fast forward to day 2, and went back to that spot. I had a good feeling that it was going to be a lot tougher. I was hoping I could maybe get 14 pounds off of that spot and then just build on that from there. There was a lot of water that I didn't fish on day 1, so I felt if I fished all my other water, I felt like I could do pretty good. But it just started real rocky for me. I caught 2 fish that weighed about 5 3/4 pounds off the spot. They're both, you know, 2 3/4 pounders, a little over. And but I proceeded to lose 3 fish, and 2 of them felt like big ones. So that kind of put me in a bad mental spot. The school was really shut down from the beating I put on them on the first day. So I opted to leave there, hunted and pecked around the pool for a couple hours and picked off one here, one there. Luckily, I was getting good quality bites every stop I made on pool 9. And these are places that I didn't fish on day 1. I got a 3-pound smallmouth off of a spot, That was my third fish of the day. So I had, just shy of 9 pounds for 3. And then I went to another place and caught a 2 3/4 pounder. So I had just shy of 12 pounds for 4. And then I stopped and caught a little smallmouth on a wing dam. So I had a 13-pound limit. And then it was time to go up to pool 8. And once we got on pool 8, things started to really snowball against me mentally. My co-angler, Alan Bernicki, he's a hammer. He's been winning everything as a co-angler for a lot of years now, and he had a good area that he wanted to try because it produced so well for him on the first day. So we did that because I was like, yeah, I mean, I can't argue with the results he had, so we're going to go to this area and try it. And it's a place I've fished a million times, just not usually this early in the season. We went in there, and I caught a number of 2-pounders, but Alan caught a 4-pounder. So it was just kind of like, man, why can't I trigger these big bites? It was just kind of like that all day. Like, I'd catch a decent one, Alan would catch a big one. And that's just a testament to who he is as a fisherman. We left that area. Alan pretty much had the tournament won at that point. But we went to one more place that I had for largemouth on the south end of pool 8, close to takeoff. And I'm throwing a topwater up on a high spot, thinking this is where I've caught some big ones before off this high spot. They weren't there yesterday, but they're going to be there today, was my thought process. Well, I pull up there, I start throwing, and Alan's just fishing right by the boat. He's throwing a wacky rig Senko, fishing totally water that I was not even trying to fish, not planning on fishing, and he catches another one over 4 pounds. And it was just kind of like, it was just that kind of magical day for Alan. He had 17 pounds for 5 fish out of the back of the boat, which is incredible. Good for him. I'm happy for him. He won the tournament by 8 pounds on the co-angler side. He had 33 pounds, 10 ounces, I think, or 11 ounces, something like 33 something. And it would have been enough to get second place on the boater side. So just outstanding, incredible performance. But yeah, I struggled and had a 15-pound day. And, I was leading the tournament after day 1, but fell to 3rd on the final day. But overall, really happy with the performance. It was a good tournament. I can't hang my head. Like, Mike Brigham had 20 pounds on the final day to weigh in 35 pounds over 2 days, and that's really stout. I knew in order for me to have 35 pounds, I needed to have my day 1 weight, and it just wasn't happening. I wasn't dialed into the fish good enough to be able to duplicate my day 1 bag, so I'm at peace with it. I did make a really good comeback on the final day with just minutes to go. I mean, this is actually my personal best, craziest fish catch that I've ever had during the final moments of a tournament. We were at that place where Alan had just caught a 4-pounder on the wacky rig, and I was kind of spun out from that event happening because a 4-pounder for me would have done a lot to my bag, Obviously, like I said, he caught it in a place where I wasn't casting. It's not like he pulled one over on me, but it's still, when you're in that position and you see somebody catch a fish that could have helped you, it messes with your mind. So I was messed with my mind, and I just needed to get off of that spot and go somewhere else. And we had literally 4 minutes till check-in. And I pulled on this spot right by check-in. I throw my swim jig out there, and I get a thump, set the hook. It's a 3 1/4 pounder. It calls my 2.5 pound small fish, gets my bag up to 15 pounds, and I run back to check-in, and I get back at 2:44. I had 45 seconds. The tournament director was standing there on the dock, shaking his head at me, because everybody else came in like 3, 4, 5 minutes early, and I come in last. I'm the guy that's leading the tournament after day 1. I come in very last with 45 seconds left, and I'm in an adrenaline rush, like I'm like convulsing almost, because I just caught this fish and threw it in the live well and like strapped my rods and ran in, and it was just the craziest thing ever. And I've done this before where I caught a fish at the end, and a lot of times it like ends up not really making as big of a difference as you think it's gonna or whatever. But this one did. It made a big difference, because without that fish, I for sure would have gotten 4th. If not possibly, it might have possibly even put me in 5th, because fourth and fifth were real close. Fourth was 32.5 and fifth was like 31.13. So depending on the exact numbers there with that call, it could have put me all the way down to fifth, but for sure fourth. And that was Tom Monsour took fourth. So to pass him with that one fish catch with just 3 minutes to go, you know, and it was like a $600 difference too in paycheck. Just incredible. It's just a testament to how great of a season I've had. You know, everything's gone perfect. I wrapped up Angler of the Year. So my 2 biggest goals of the season were accomplished: winning Team of the Year in the bites and winning Angler of the Year in the BFL. So I couldn't be happier with how things have gone. You know, mentally, I feel like I'm starting to get in a little bit better place. The confidence is picking up. Got some momentum now going into the Bites 95 Championship next weekend, and then following that up with the regional down at Lake Ouachita the following week. So, you know, things are good right now. I'm super excited. You know, we're still working on that anxiety situation when I'm out there competing. It definitely was a factor this week, but it was not quite as bad as it was the previous tournament I fished. So something that's just going to be a work in progress, and I'll keep you updated on it. It's going to get better, and I'm just going to work on keeping a positive attitude throughout the next couple tournaments, and hopefully we can go into 2022 with a whole lot of momentum after another good regional finish. So thank you guys for watching. That's all I got right now. It's time for me to get on the clock and go to work, but I'll have some more updates, go into a little more detail maybe about some of the baits I've used. I can maybe show them to you, and do some stuff out in the boat this week and talk about how I'm catching fish out there right now. But thanks for all the support. I got a lot of texts, calls, a lot of support this week, a lot of support the previous week. Guys are giving me good feedback on these videos. So I know it's very basic. I'm literally just making recap videos when I have a chance in my truck, but people are telling me they like to hear about it. So I appreciate that, and we'll keep doing it. And I'll keep trying to bring you some good content. So let me know if you have any topics you'd like me to discuss. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.